Hello and welcome. My name is Alexi Goodall. I am the Phase 2 Program Coordinator for the Chemistry Department here at Western Washington University. Thanks for watching this video. It's very exciting that you're coming to Western and that you have an interest in chemistry. So let's get started. Okay, so this presentation is going to mainly be focusing on Phase 2 of the Chemistry Department program and students that have high amounts of transfer credit. So if you think that you're ready to go into Phase 2, and I'll go into more detail about what Phase 2 is later, or if you're coming in with high credit, I suggest you keep on watching. If that's not the case, then I suggest you watch our other video done by my coworker, Miranda Abrashi, our Phase 1 program coordinator, because it will be more applicable to where you're at in your studies. Okay, so why pursue a chemistry or biochemistry major? There's lots of reasons. If you're here, then you likely have an interest in chemistry or biochemistry or chemistry education, which is exciting. There's plenty of careers you can do with a chemistry or biochemistry degree. I recommend checking out the American Chemical Society's College to Career page for more information on what those different careers could be. And specifically here at Western, we have a great chemistry program, partially because Western is a primarily undergraduate university. That means that there's no PhD students here. So faculty are doing research directly with undergraduates, and we have a really thriving research program here in the chemistry department. We have students that are publishing papers on a yearly basis, as well as going to national conferences. And outside of research, because we're primarily undergraduate university, there's a high focus on teaching and scholarship. So you're generally, once you're in your upper division classes, in classes of 24 to 32 students with 1 to 2 faculty members. So you've got a lot of time directly with your faculty, professors. So the degrees we offer here in the chemistry department are a Bachelor of Arts in Chemistry, a Bachelor of Science in Chemistry, a Bachelor of Science in Biochemistry. We're soon going to be offering a Bachelor of Arts in Biochemistry as well. And then we have multiple Bachelor of Arts in Education degrees also. The remainder of this presentation is going to focus on our Bachelors in Chemistry and Biochemistry. But if you're interested in the Bachelor of Arts in Education, please reach out to me. I'll have contact information at the end of the slide. So our majors are split into 2 phases. Phase 1, you're in pre-major status, and Phase 2, you're a fully declared major. So there's definitely differences between the two. I'm not going to focus a lot of time on Phase 1 for this presentation, but if you're not ready to start Phase 2, I do suggest declaring Phase 1, as you'll get access to some classes that you wouldn't otherwise get access to. And you get access to information. You go on our Canvas site where we have job postings and scholarship postings and events that are happening. So it's definitely worth doing that. As far as Phase 2 goes, there's an application to get in, which I'll go into a little bit more detail in the following slide. And you have to have specific classes completed before you do that application. However, once you're admitted, you get guaranteed access to your Phase 2 classes to graduate within 2 years for our Bachelor of Science degrees and 1 year and a quarter for our Bachelor of Arts degrees. I have a little asterisk there next to the guarantee because you need to register for that to happen and you need to stay in line with your cohort. So, more about Phase 2. So, to apply to Phase 2, to apply to Phase 2, the application is on our chemistry department website. I have the link listed here. So that's chemistry.wwu.edu/advising. And in general, there's a lot of great information on that advising page. I highly recommend you check it out. Our applications are due twice a year for Phase 2. We have an application due in fall and an application due in spring. Students admitted in the spring start their phase 2 classes in the fall, and then students admitted in the fall start their phase 2 classes in the winter. Students admitted to the fall and spring cohorts graduate at the same time. So the most applicable date to you will be that first Friday of fall quarter, as the spring quarter deadline has already passed. So keep that in mind. Make sure you don't miss it if you're ready to apply to phase 2. So the application itself is comprised of your grades in your phase 1 courses, which I'll show in the next slide, as well as some short answer questions about your goals and career plans, as well as how you would support equity and inclusion in the department. We've also included some questions related to your journey through your education with COVID-19, as we know that that's impacted a lot of students. So these are the pre-major phase 1 courses that you need to complete before applying to phase 2. If you haven't completed these courses for the degree that you're applying for, your application is not going to be considered. So those courses are a full year of general chemistry, the first 2 quarters of organic chemistry for both majors, for all 3 majors, I should say. And then for the chemistry majors, you also need Calculus 1 and Calculus 2, and you need Physics with Calculus 1. For biochemistry majors, you need Intro to Cellular and Molecular Biology. So from here, I'm going to transition a little bit more into talking about registration and then some common stuff to watch out for as a transfer student that's not fun to find out about later. So registration restrictions. There are several different ways that classes are restricted in the chemistry department. Some of them are major restricted, so you need to be declared either phase 1 or phase 2. So this screenshot of analytical chemistry shows that you need to be declared into either phase 1 or phase 2. Some classes are completely phase 2 restricted. And then some classes have override protection. Doing research for credit, you'd need an override for, as well as some of your phase 2 classes. And then there's some classes too where we withhold seats and then we reprioritize the wait list, putting our majors at the top of the wait list and release seats. And so that's really common in organic chemistry. So, common transfer issues. So, courses not articulating as anticipated. That's always a bummer. If you're coming from a state institution, so a local community college, or if you're transferring from like UW or Wazoo, then what is on your transfer equivalency report is likely how your transfer classes came over. Sometimes there's not an equivalent course at Western to a class that you took at another institution, and that means that you might have to repeat some of the stuff you've already learned, but that also means that you're learning new stuff in that same class. Again, if you're coming from a state institution, your transfer equivalency report is what you see. If you're coming from an out-of-state institution or a private college, we may have never looked at the class that you're seeking equivalency for. That's a time when you're going to want to request for a transfer equivalency to be done. And you can find that request form on that advising page of our website. So another common transfer issue is having too many applicable transfer credits. So Western has a policy that 50% of your major has to be completed at Western. For majors in the sciences like chemistry, there's so many prerequisites that you have to do before you can start your phase 2 classes that majors are weighted a little bit heavily on the lower division credit, which means that sometimes more than 50% of your major is being transferred in. That's okay. What we do is we have students take extra upper division chemistry to make up that difference. And if you think that this applies to you, I would love to sit down with you and talk a little bit more detail about what that looks like. Another common transfer issue is having too few upper division credits. If you transfer in your organic chemistry from a community college, it likely comes in as not upper division, while it's upper division here at Western. And what that means is you're likely going to need to take extra upper division credits outside of your major to meet that 60. Most students that take their organic chemistry here at Western don't run into this issue, but if you took your organic chemistry outside of Western, you're definitely going to want to pay attention to this. So that's everything that I have in this presentation today. If you have any questions, please reach out. You can make an appointment with me and schedule directly into my calendar with a Zoom or Teams meeting or phone using this link here. And that's calendly.com/WWU chemistry advising. You're also welcome to send us an email. Myself and Miranda Abrashi are regularly checking the chemistry at wwu.edu email address, and we'll get back to you as quickly as we can. And then also check out our website. Like I said, a lot of this information is housed on there, as well as a lot of our forms. So definitely take a look at chemistry.wwu.edu/advising. That's all I have for you today. Again, welcome to Western. Please reach out if you have questions, and have a great day.